Hello, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kausthub, and I'm joining you from Paris. And we have the master tactician himself, Devashish, with us. So, what we are going to do today is like sort of rank the England squad. We put together a list of about 40 players who have been in discussions about going to the World Cup as well as being named in Southgate's, preliminary 55-man squad. So, before we jump into things, Devashish, bro, how have you been? What have you been up to? It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, man, absolutely swamped. Like just before we started recording, I was just in a rush. You can just observe me. I was like, I just came home and then I had a meeting with client and like it has been a very busy schedule. But the good thing is like all the work I do is at the end of the day related to football. So it's
Perfect.
it's 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 what I like to do, and it's a bit more relaxing because when I
Mm.
relax, I play FIFA to relax. So it's like all football related. So it's all good. You tell, man, how are you, man?
Yeah, bro, things been have been good. I've been working at my internship, and recently there's this rapper called Central C who came to Paris, so I went for his concert. So that was a lot of fun. Uh, so enough of the chatter. Let's jump right into things. So what I was thinking, how we can go about this is that I think we know like a skeleton of what the squad will look like. I think like there are a few players that we know are definitely going to be in the squad. So I feel like maybe we start with putting them into the tiers, and then then we can start discussing the potential players and sort of see how the squad sort of shapes up. So I think we can start with the goalkeepers. What
Uh,
do you think, Devashish? I think I've put four keepers here in
yeah.
Pope, Ramsdale, Dean Henderson, and Pickford. What do you
Yeah, I
think
feel
about it?
so. I feel a bit sorry for Dean Henderson because he has
Mm.
been good, but he's the kind of keeper, man. When he gets the opportunity at the highest level, he doesn't deliver, and then he gets loaned out to a smaller club, then he delivers, and you can't be like that when you're at Man United. So my three would be Pickford, Ramsdale, and Pope. I think that's quite clear.
And out of the two, okay, let's get Ramsdale in, Pope in, and Pickford in to the
Yeah.
26. Out of these three, who do you think would be the starter? You think like Southgate will stick with with Pickford, sorry, or do you think
Uh,
Ramsdale's recent form deserves him to sort of be the starter?
Yeah, if it was me, I would start Ramsdale. I think he has got an unbelievable passing range. His distribution is excellent. He's very calm
Hmm.
on the ball. He has got a great anchoring in him. He has that, imposing personality and he has got the momentum as well. But again, we are doing it through the Southgate mindset,
Yeah.
which people hate. I don't necessarily hate that. I do disagree with Southgate at a few things, but
Hmm.
not I'm not that anti Southgate guy. I get why he does things the way he does things. So yeah, in terms of looking at it from a Southgate perspective, I think Pickford goes in for the starter.
Perfect. Okay. So I think that puts Henderson sitting at home, unfortunately.
Yeah, just
But
like me.
yeah. Okay, I think let's jump into the defenders. I think let's starting with the center backs. I think in at least in my opinion, I think Stones is definitely one who's at least going to he's definitely, going to Qatar,
Yeah.
as well as Dier. I feel like, he's been in good form recently. He did make a mistake in one of the recent matches, but I think overall, as we mentioned, looking at it from Southgate's perspective, Dyer is one that he really counts on. So I think for me, at least two of them are sort of guaranteed to be in the squad.
Yes.
So now looking at these center backs, see, I have Dung, Tarkowski, Dan Burn, Mings, Cody, Gomez, Maguire, Tomori, Gehi, and White.
Yeah.
So I
So
think these are probably, the England center backs who have featured in the recent squads as well as, have been putting in good performances, and, there have been a lot of clamor for these players to get a call up. So who out of these would you sort of see getting picked?
now this is where I have a problem with Southgate. I don't have
Hmm.
a problem with him when he plays defensive football or, slightly a lower block in against the bigger teams. I totally get that. That's very normal, especially at the international level where you don't have to be explosive. You can be effective and
Hmm.
efficient in the way you play. Now, this is where I have the problem, man. The names you just mentioned there, the two best players
Hmm.
are the players who he doesn't even pick, man. Like Ben White is perfect for a back four. Like in a back four, he can play right back, right center back, left center back, and can even deputize as a left back if needed. Of course, he won't do that, but like he
Hmm.
can play in a back four. Fikayo Tomori can play in a back four. Both of them can play in a back three. They're quick, they're aerially very strong, and Tomori especially has that excellent recovery pace that only Kyle Walker has. But Walker is also down because of an injury, and
Hmm.
I think Southgate prefers Walker as more of a third center back or a center back
Correct.
rather than a full back. So if again, man, if it was me, I would absolutely go with Ben White. He has been amazing. I used to watch him at Brighton. He used to play in the midfield, man. Like
Hmm.
he used to look like Sergio Busquets, man. I used to go like, what the hell is going on? So it's I would say it's very hard, man, because
I think,
yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah,
just quickly about Ben White, I completely agree. Like this season, his form has been, spectacular. And, he's been playing in a back three experience at Brighton. He plays
yeah.
at a four at Arsenal, played at
But his
centre back
football
as well as
IQ is
right back.
so good. He's a manager's
Completely
dream.
agree.
He's a manager's
Yeah.
dream, actually. Like he's that kind of player, man. He's so good. He's so down to earth. Do whatever the manager asks him to do. Because let's be honest, right back, he hasn't been playing in his best position so far this
Hmm.
season. It's a centre back. But the way he overlaps, his passing, he's always the extra man. Whenever
Hmm.
Arsenal dominating the ball, he's the extra man everywhere. He's the man they look at. He's the outlet when they're trying to keep possession. One player I would say, which again I would put him absolutely in, but again I don't think Southgate will, is actually Dan Burn. Now I don't know how much you're
I
actually
think just,
watching
yeah.
Newcastle, but Dan Burn has since
Hmm.
from Brighton coming to Newcastle, he's not even quick, man, but he plays at left back just like White plays at right back without
Correct.
being naturally suited for that position. Again, he would be in my squad, but I don't think Southgate would pick him, man. So
Yeah, and I think we just have let's just address the elephant in the room, Mr. Harry Maguire. I
yeah, yeah,
feel like, it's just I think we just have to accept it that, he is just going to take him with in the squad.
yeah, he will,
And
he will.
it's I feel like it's really unfortunate that, deserving players who've been putting in the performances will miss out because he is one of Southgate's guys, Is just someone he really trusts him and
Yeah,
is just like, no matter what he does, he just seems to get picked constantly. So I think he is unfortunately going to be there in the squad. And I quickly added Kyle Walker because I think we all know he is brilliant at,
yeah.
right back, right center back. So
I
he's
think we have
definitely.
one more space for defender, are we right?
Yeah, I think we have one. Maybe we can take one more center back
So okay, we okay.
because I'm
So
considering Kyle Walker as, one of the right center backs because he is going to
okay,
play at right center back. And I feel probably Maguire or I feel Dier might start at the like in the middle of the three
center for
and
back.
probably maybe Stones on the left. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is what I was thinking.
I
So
think
maybe we look at the
so.
other defenders and we can come back and see whether if we want another center back.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think with it's really unfortunate, Reece James has been officially ruled out of the World Cup.
And Trippier is also injured, I guess.
No, I think Trippier he is not a big concern. I think he will be fit.
Okay.
So I think that leaves. I feel like Reece James was probably nailed on to start. Like he's great going forward, and he has that defensive prowess that Southgate really likes. So that being said, I think right center back is somewhere I feel Southgate he has to give Trent a chance. I think, whatever
Oh,
people may say about Trent's, defensive vulnerabilities going forward, I think he is one of the best, if not the best, right back going forward. And if you have Kyle Walker playing at that right center back role, it would give the perfect amount of license that Trent requires to go forward and actually create chances and make things happen. I think we've seen that England. That's one thing they've struggled. Like they're very turgid. They just lack creativity in the forward areas and they seem to run out of ideas. So, having a player like Trent could be like an absolute game changer. And
Yeah, you made all the right points, and Trippier will start at right wing back.
I
Trent will
think
go.
that's true,
Trent will
but
go. I'm quite sure. I
I
think
think
Trent
like
Trent will go.
I think Trent will go, and I think Trippier will definitely go. I think
Definitely.
yeah, I think it's also the fact that he can provide cover at left wing back or left
Yeah,
back. We'll
yeah,
see,
yeah.
like we're gonna go into the left backs, but with Chilwell's injury again, I feel like England are a little light at
It's Luke Shaw, isn't it?
back. So I think yeah, it's Luke Shaw. He's the only option now, and
Yeah.
I feel like the other two options that I put in were Ryan Sessegnon and yeah,
Cresswell.
Cresswell as well as Kyle Walker-Peters.
Mm-hmm.
I think these were the other options I was thinking. It is, I feel like, in a squad, you need at least two players per position. And I don't think Trippier, I would count him as, left back, or although, like, Southgate trusts him. I feel like it would be safer to take a natural left back. So I don't know. What's your thought? That was my thought. Do you think he'll do that, or do you think any of these three players have a chance of sneaking in?
I think the only player has maybe slightest of the chance.
Mm-hmm.
I think is not even this one of those three. I think it's and he might go. I'm quite serious about it. I think he might go. Is actually Conor Cody, because I think he was
Yeah,
also a
here.
part. I think he was a part of that Euro squad, which I think it made it to
Mm-hmm.
the final. And he's not. I think, and I guess these kind of players are very important. Jordan Henderson is again one of them.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is they're not there to play. They're not there because they're brilliant footballers. But
Correct.
Gareth Southgate relies a lot on leaders and
Mm-hmm.
leaders who have experience of managing teams and managing youngsters, because this
Yeah.
team has a lot of youngsters, and that's where I think he would really back on the likes of Hendo and the likes of Conor Cody, because Henderson and Cody are
Mm-hmm.
like really brilliant seniors who set a great example for youngsters and give them the right pathway to be to calm themselves down, to give them the right instructions, and to also come in extra time if they want to grind a game out. Then I think two of them are really good as a defensive midfielder or in a back three or somewhere like that. So I think Conor Cody goes, and I don't think any one
Okay.
of those three you mentioned goes actually.
Do you think any of them even has a slight chance? Maybe out of the three, who do you think has the best out of these three, even though their chance may be low?
uh, I think it will be Walker Peters maybe,
Kyle Walker-Peters. Okay, let's
because
put
he
him
has
in.
so much, because he is defensively much better than both of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Let's put him here. Okay, I think now coming to the midfield, I
Mhm.
think let's just get Declan Rice. I think he's definitely going in. I
Calvin
think
Phillips is injured, am I wrong?
no, Calvin Phillips is back. He's going to return today against Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I think. Okay, firstly, I think Henderson is definitely in,
Hmm.
and I would say even Mason Mount is definitely
Mason
going
Mount is
in.
in, man. Mason Mount has to play.
Bellingham is, I feel also he
Yeah.
is he's not going to miss out. So I
Then
think
Phillips,
now
if Calvin Phillips is fit, I think he's in as well.
that's what I was just going to come to that.
Okay.
Like he has missed pretty much the entire season so far. He's not played. I feel like he must have played maybe like 60 minutes of football so far this
Yeah,
season.
yeah, yeah.
Given the
And
lack
it's
of
down to
game
him,
time,
isn't it? Like it's down to him. It's because of him making that decision
yeah.
and not waiting for a better, not by better club. I don't mean like better club in terms of winning trophies, but
Hmm.
getting more, like getting more sort of a game time. Maybe Liverpool are in for a midfielder in January, and if he was at Leeds, Liverpool might have gone. Calvin Phillips, you're a good cover for Henderson or something, and he would have played a lot more than that. So I guess
Hmm.
it's down to him taking a wrong decision and just looking at the glamour and all the trophies that he would win without playing many minutes. But I think still he would go for a similar reason that maybe Maguire would go, for a similar
Hmm.
reason that maybe a lot more players would go who are not getting so much game time but are still one of like that core Southgate's group.
Okay. Uh, so okay, see, currently we have in midfield Declan Rice, Henderson, Mount, uh,
You don't think
Bellingham.
Phil Foden goes?
No, I think I'm counting Phil Foden more of like a forward. He's gonna play probably in the front
Okay,
three.
okay,
Like I'm
fine, fine.
talking of like in the 3-4-3,
Center
like the
midfielders.
middle two. Yeah, the
Yeah,
two
yeah,
pivots. So I
yeah.
was thinking like, do you think any of these three? I was thinking these also they've been playing pretty well and have been in the squads recently. Do you
Yeah.
think
So
Loftus-Cheek or Gallagher or Ward-Prowse has a chance?
Yeah, so I think with the conversations we've had before, I think you
Hmm.
must know I'm a big fan of Harvey Elliott and the way he
Hmm.
finds space on the pitch, the way he can play anywhere. If I was the manager, I think even I wouldn't pick him, and that
Hmm.
speaks a lot. Not because he's not good enough. I just think it's not his time right now, and his time will come, man. He's gonna be a
Yeah, I
great
think
player
he's
very soon.
pretty young. He's only
Yeah,
like I think
same with
19.
I think same with Loftus Cheek. He's not gonna go. Now I think the pick is between Gallagher and Ward-Prowse. So with
Hmm.
Gallagher and Ward-Prowse, it's interesting because they're two very different kinds of players.
Correct.
And I think because what Gallagher provides, I think Ward-Prowse will go.
Hmm.
Because what happens is Gallagher can go box to box, Mason Mount can go box to box.
Correct.
Gallagher can find the odd goal, Bellingham and Mason Mount can find the odd goal. Gallagher is defensively also aware, Bellingham and Phillips are defensively aware. So Gallagher is not bringing anything special to the table, but I think James Ward-Prowse is bringing something very special to the table. That is
Hmm.
excellent dead ball, great at free kicks, another very good leader, very calm head in the midfield. And he's one of those, as I always say, England lack midfielders who can play through the lines.
Correct.
Bellingham is good at that. Phillips is very good at that. And I think as much as I've watched Ward-Prowse, I can't understand why hasn't he moved to a bigger club still, right? Still, I mean, so many years it has been. He's literally the reason why Southampton have been in the Premier
Hmm.
League. His goals and assists are massive. So in that way, I think because of the kinds of aspects he brings to the team, because you need that in the final, 10 minutes to go, and the South goes Maguire in the box, all the big lads in the box, and Ward-Prowse can, pick these, then set
Hmm.
pieces and all those things. So I think that's why Ward-Prowse would go. And I think it's slightly harsh on Gallagher, but I think Ward-Prowse provides something different to what the midfielders already have in there.
I think maybe, Gallagher, in case,
Yeah,
I feel the only way he can probably make the cut is if Phillips cannot stay fit enough. Like now he has probably 2 games, like, they're gonna face Chelsea, I think today, and there's
yeah,
one more Premier League fixture before the World Cup. I think if
yeah,
he
yeah.
returns and, he's not able to get minutes, or maybe he's not 100%. I think that's when Gallagher has a chance.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, I think I think maybe too soon for Elliot, like
yeah,
his
too
time
soon.
is now. Okay, I think moving forward, I think we have like I think we know that Sterling is definitely in the squad. We know Kane is
Uh,
definitely in the squad. I would say Foden is definitely in the squad.
yeah.
Saka,
Saka is in the squad.
Saka,
Yeah, is in the squad.
okay. Okay, now we've got Grealish, Madison, Rashford, Sancho,
Sure.
Owen. Let's look at the wingers first.
Yeah.
So between like the 5 of these players, I feel like one person who's definitely out of the conversation for me, firstly to begin with, is Bowen. I think unfortunately, like he's just not been able to keep up his form, and I think there are players like the other 4 players have a better opportunity. So like I think let's get him out of the way. So coming to Grealish, Madison, Rashford, Sancho, Devashish, who
I
are
mean,
your
this is very difficult because there are so many thoughts going in. I think one player which you missed in all these 40 players, I
Mhm.
think he would be one of those my wild card entries. And if I
Mhm.
was the England manager, I would pick him without even
Okay,
thinking
okay, let me
twice.
guess, let me guess, let me
Go
guess.
on.
Is he does he play for Palace?
Yes.
Is he Eze?
Yes.
Yes,
If
bro.
I was the
That's what.
manager, I would pick him. If I was the manager, I would pick him 110%.
Mhm.
110%. Man, how good is he, man? I mean, you just give him the ball and he
Mhm.
gets you, you give him the ball and go like, okay, everyone else go up, he'll get the ball there. You can just wait there. And he just finds a way, 20 yards higher up the pitch, 30 yards. So brilliant. But again, man, like, Southgate won't pick him. And this is one of the things I don't like about Southgate.
Yeah.
Just not one of, many of. So I mean, yeah, Grealish, Madison, Rashford, Jaden.
I feel like for me, out of these 4, the bottom choice for me would be Sancho.
So
I
how
think.
many of these we can choose? Like
I was thinking we can, since we have Foden and Saka as wingers, I was thinking we can choose 2 out of the 4.
four. Okay, okay.
Or
Mate.
maybe we'll pick 2 now and we'll pick one striker, and then we can sort of come and look at the squad again and
Mm-hmm.
make some
True,
adjustments.
true, true. Yeah, yeah.
So if you had to eliminate 2 out of these 4, who would they be?
Mate, looking at it from the Southgate perspective, I think Madison doesn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
but he's been so good, man. Like he's so good. Like mad. Like this season, Grealish doesn't even come close.
Mm.
Like so I mean, what do you want me to say? If do you want me to say that Madison makes it because Madison is not gonna probably I think he goes in the on the brink probably in the
Yeah,
category because I
same.
think
I
there is
feel
a
like,
chance. There is a
his
chance he might come in.
yeah, I think his performances certainly deserve it. And I think there is a lot of media support as well. I think even online there's a lot of support for him being picked. And I think, with the other forward options not really
Actually,
being
just
in
one more
form.
thing, yeah, and like just one. I'm just sorry, but like just
Mhm.
one more thing for Madison. It's like during the Euros, Madison, the way everyone is feeling about Madison is like
Yeah,
how everyone felt about Grealish actually. Grealish had that
correct.
brilliant season with Villa. He had that
Hmm.
unpredictability about him, beating players, finding passes, creating chances. He actually changed the game against Germany when they actually won that because
Yeah,
England were not creating
correct.
anything. Grealish created. I think this time around, Madison brings that element of unpredictability. So I think
Hmm.
he could make it, but it's a very hard one to call. So I think
Hmm.
we have put him in the right category there. Yeah, you go on. I'm sorry.
I think from the three, I feel like, Sancho, I I feel like he's not really impressed at all. Like,
And it doesn't suit the Southgate system as well.
yeah. And I feel like, I'm gonna come to him, but I feel like I feel Sancho and Grealish, their style of play is very similar. Both of them, they like to receive the ball to the feet, take on their man and sort of, in a way, a little slow the game down a bit. While, of course, like Sterling and Rashford are, they're like
Yeah,
much faster and they have provide the threat in behind. So I feel like, taking both of them, you would have like players who have very similar attributes. And
yeah,
between the two of them, I still feel Jack Grealish has that, that
yeah.
element of magic about him. Like,
Yes,
he
yes.
can, I feel like, everyone says that he's been a big flop at City, but I feel like he's just been, yes, he's not had the goals and the assists, but like I feel like if you actually watch City play, he's the guy who has like the pass before the assist. So he's the one who drives forward and cuts the ball back to, someone like Bernardo who will pass it to De
Yeah,
Bruyne, who will put in the ball in for Haaland, something of that
yeah,
sort. So I feel like uh and his ability to win free kicks is also really important. England over
yeah,
the past two tournaments have been a team that rely on set pieces a lot. So I think, his ability to, at least as a substitute to come on late in games and win free kicks in, dangerous areas, towards the death could be like an X factor
yeah.
for them.
He
So
goes, yeah.
I think he
I
goes.
loved it, man. I loved that pass before the pass, before the
Yeah.
pass, and before that. So, like, yeah, I mean, Gundogan can play that pass as well. I mean, it's not that big.
But I feel that
Oh,
that's what his
yeah.
ability, like he drives the ball for. He does bring a lot to the table that,
I'm sorry to laugh a
like
lot, but I just loved it. I loved it, man. You took it as far back as like VR takes it, like a goal happens, and VR takes it like
that is where it
hours
begins,
before, and
yeah.
that's where Jack Grealish last touched the ball and we made a contribution. No, man, no,
Okay.
yeah.
And okay, finally, what do you think about Rashford? What do you think are his chances? Like this season, I think he has been hot and cold. Like sometimes he performs like really well. Like I remember recently, I think it was it against Villa or someone. He scored like a beautiful header from Eriksen's cross. So I think he has that ability and he does have that element of pace that other players don't really provide, barring Sterling.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you think? Do you think he makes it?
Another one of those I don't think suits the Southgate system again
Hmm.
because you said that apart from Sterling, no one has the pace. The way Southgate plays, he wants wingers with more creativity and less pace because he wants
Hmm.
people who can handle ball in tight spaces like Grealish, like Foden. And Sterling is better at handling ball at tight spaces than Rashford. That's one of the biggest
Correct.
reasons why he plays more than Rashford. So it's again a tricky one because he doesn't really suit the system.
Would you say on the
But
brink then?
yeah, on the brink, exactly.
So yeah, so looking at 23, we have three more spots. I think we definitely need some cover for Kane in case he's injured. And
Yeah.
looking at the three probably informed strikers right now. What do you think? I think Calvert-Lewin, like he has been in the squads in the past, but his injuries are. mean that
Sitting
he
at home, man. Sitting at home.
yeah. Between Tammy and Tony, then
Again, I mean, they're quite similar actually.
that's
But I
what I
think,
feel like. Yeah, that's what they do have pretty similar attributes. They do have that, the size about them, win headers. I think, Tony, one other, I think, key aspect that he brings is his brilliant penalty record. Looking at in England's record in penalties in the recent history, I think, having a player who will, likely come on and score. And as I
yeah,
say that, he will definitely come on and miss a penalty just to prove me wrong. But
yeah,
he's never missed a penalty for Brentford, and having a player of that, with that extra,
yeah,
about him, I think brings a lot to the table. And I think in late in games, even I think they could do something like play Kane and Tony together. Tony being like more of the target man, and Kane dropping a bit deeper.
yeah.
So I
Because
think
Tony is quick as well. He's fast. Like
exactly.
people don't actually realize this, but once he gets going,
Mhm.
it's a bit like Mitrovic. He looks
Yeah,
a bit slow,
bulky.
but once they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
going, there's no stopping that. So it's like, it's why did Southgate pick him in the last international break and not give him at least 20
Ex-
minutes?
I feel like that is like I think we'll come on to Southgate chat a bit later, but I would say yeah, completely agree. I think Tony goes in. Even his
Yeah.
form right now,
Mhm.
like Tammy's this season hasn't been the great, but maybe if there's any injuries in the just before the World Cup, I think Tammy is
Yeah.
next in line.
But okay.
So I think we have 24 right now. So we have two more
Two
spots.
more spots.
Yeah,
I think then Rashford goes. I think if there's
I
two
think
spot after that, I think Rashford goes.
yeah. I think that's what I think. Yeah, maybe we can push Rashford in. And do you think we need another defender?
Another
Just
defender. So Dier, Connor Cody, Ben White, Maguire, Kyle Walker.
because I
Yeah,
feel like
possibly. Yeah, actually,
Tony is
yeah.
definitely not going to actually play. I think like he's going to
Mhm.
be the last option. So in the
Yeah, yeah,
back
yeah,
three, I think Kyle Walker is probably nailed on, given
yeah,
that he is, fit like 100%. And I
yeah, yeah.
feel probably Dyer and Stones, maybe White even. Would you take
Yes.
another defender just in case?
Yeah, I would. I would. Yeah.
So
So the best one is Tomori, in my opinion.
I feel like
I
exactly.
think
I
that's
feel like
the. I think
yeah.
that's the reason why he won't go. So then we can talk about the next one. As I said, I think that I would pick Dan Burn. I think Dan Burn
Hmm.
has been brilliant. And looking at it from the Southgate perspective, saying it from for how many times I don't remember, but I think he goes with Tarkowski in that case.
I feel like firstly, I think Dan Burn, like I think given his age and having zero like experience with the national team, I feel it's unlikely that he'll get picked now. So let's get him out of the way. What do you
Oh,
think
you
about
talked about
Mings?
that was Louis Dunk, not Dan Burn. You said Dan Burn.
Lewis
I got
Dunk,
confused.
sorry, Lewis Dunk,
Uh,
Lewis Dunk,
and Louis
exactly.
Dunk has
Sorry.
been one of my favorite players for the last few years. He's
He has,
brilliant,
but
but
exactly what my point was that, he's not really played for
yeah, he
England. I
won't.
don't
He
think
won't.
he has a single cap for England, but that's why I think it's unlikely he gets picked now.
Yeah.
Uh, so between, I think another one for me, Mings, I think he's just not good enough.
Yeah, he's not good enough, and I think that's why he
But
would
I,
make it actually.
I feel the only thing about him is that he is also, one of Southgate's guys in the sense
Yeah.
that, he has been picked in the past. So if there's an injury for any of the center backs, I feel he
Mhm.
is the one that, Southgate is most likely to turn to.
Yeah.
So between, I think Gehi, he has been picked in the squad, but I don't think he's started or played
I
any
think he
minutes.
goes in the injury cover as well. I think
Yeah,
because he's good. He's
agree
very
with
good
you
actually.
there. With Joe Gomez, I think his just form is
Nah,
not
nah, nah.
really good enough.
Sitting at home. Sitting at
I
home.
think he's at home. Uh, Dan Burn, again, like he is
Manish,
really
good
good
call.
and he is versatile. Given his size, it's
Very good.
sometimes it's really weird to see a player of his size at left
Where at
back.
Brighton, there were times when he used to play as a wing back. Wing back, and he used to get in the box. He used to distribute the ball, and it's part of Potter's brilliance as well to use him in that position. But it's down to him as an individual as well. So I don't understand how can Southgate not pick him and pick some of the players that haven't performed. But again, I don't think Southgate will. I think he goes on the brink.
On the brink, Dan Burn. Between Tomori and Tarkowski, I
Like
feel
this,
like
like this shouldn't even be a like this shouldn't even. I mean, this is unreal. This shouldn't even be a conversation, man. How are we here, man?
I think for me, Tomori has to go. So if I have to put him, I would put him in.
Yeah,
And I think we could put Tarkowski on the brink.
yeah, because he has made the. I think he has made a few squads in earlier. I
Correct.
think when he used to play for
Yeah.
Burnley.
Okay. I think now we've got our squad together. So I think
Hmm.
finally we can name, now that we've got maybe Southgate squad, I think we'll put out the lineup that we would like to watch England play. Change formation, you can do whatever you want. This is like open for us. This is like, let's see how good we can make England play.
Okay, back three or a back four? I would go back three.
Back three, I think personally I would try a back four. But I think I'm
I,
I'm
I,
okay with
I,
back three.
I
Yeah, I
don't
think
think they
that's
have the players. I don't think they have the players for
mm,
back four and players with enough experience to play in a back four. I think
okay. I think between the keepers, firstly, I
Ramsdale,
think for me
Ramsdale.
Ramsdale has to start. I think I'll put him in the lineup. Let's go with the left wing back. Who would you put on the left
I think there's just
between
one option,
Shaw?
isn't it? Sure, it's
I
just
think
Shaw.
yeah, it has to be Shaw. I think
It's
even the
it's
injury.
between Shaw and Shaw.
Yeah. Okay, coming to the centre backs now. I think we know Walker's gonna be there for sure at right centre back. I think Stones plays between Dier, like between the centre backs now, between Tomori. I think Tomori is not gonna play. Cody is also not
Yeah,
going to play. So
I
that leaves
think
us with
I
Stones,
think Dyer
Dier.
will play, but I think it's more between Ben White and Stones, and in that I would pick Ben
Mhm.
White.
Okay, I think let's put Ben White in. So we have a back three of Ben White, Eric Dyer, and Kyle Walker. And
Yeah,
now to right wing back
Trent,
between,
man, it has to be Trent.
let's go with Trent. Let's go with Trent. Okay, let's do the two pivots now.
The two
I think this
pivots.
sort of picks itself. I think for me it's going to be Rice and Bellingham.
Yeah.
Okay, and Rice as well. Okay, and now to the front three. I think Kane definitely starts as the striker. Who would you have on either side of him?
Either side of his. Who would I have? Yeah, so it's not the Southgate mindset anymore, so it's much more
Hmm.
easier. Uh, it's I. No, it's not easy actually. Uh, I would have Bukayo Saka.
I think I completely agree. I think Saka has been in great form. I think the only thing I'm just a little worried is the recent injury he picked up. Although, yeah,
Yeah.
Arteta said it's not really serious, but
Hmm.
I just hope that does not, affect him in any way.
Hmm.
And on the left, like our final spot in our 11.
You know what? Like I love Mason Mount. Like I
Hmm.
love Mason Mount. He's one of those, one of those managers' dreams kind of player.
Hmm.
He is sensational. Maybe he's not as beautiful to watch. Maybe that's why people don't notice it. But he's
Hmm.
brilliant. Like he's much more than numbers. You know how you talk about Grealish, like you go
Correct.
ages ago with Grealish, but like with Mount, it's like without the ball, man, relentless. He can tackle
Hmm.
and he can win the ball back, and he's tenacious. He's very good, man. And I want to pick him, but I just think because it needs a bit more creative player in that particular space, and because Saka provides the space, it would
Hmm.
open up some sort of space for a kind of Grealish or a Foden type of player. So again, it's tricky. I would leave it up to you, man.
I think for me, like I completely agree with your point, but I feel like he is a special. He's just a special player, and I think this is his tournament. I think we thought that, the Euros was going to be where he would break out and, sort of leave his imprint on the national team. But, due to injuries, he didn't really get a lot of minutes. But I think this tournament is where he will shine. Like, recently, I don't know if it's by design or he's asked for it, but he's not played a lot of minutes recently. So, heading into the World Cup, he's going to be really fit and, ready to sort of get the World Cup back to England.
Yeah,
And what he can do on the left, on the right, I think he's
yeah,
just
he's brilliant.
special.
He's brilliant.
I think so. I would put him in.
Yeah.
Let's put him in here. Okay, perfect. I think yeah, that's about it for today, guys. This was our squad and our starting 11. Thank you so much, Devashish. Brilliant as ever to see you again. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us
And
know
let us know what you
your
think, let us
exactly.
know where Kaustubh got it wrong, and don't tell me where I got it wrong, okay? Like, and just tell us, because like I don't understand football so much, so we'll see how it works out. Okay. Okay, guys,
Perfect.
thanks a
Okay,
lot. Subscribe, and help us to get to 200 subscribers. We are very close. Let's speed it up a little, and we hope
let's
to get a
go.
lot more.